Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Disgaea RPG video. So, as I said in yesterday's video, normal service has been resumed, and today we're going to be doing a character showcase for the newest badass unit that's about to drop on Disgaearpg. Now, as you guys know, doing these showcases I built a JP account specifically so that I could show you super attacks and stuff like that of the units. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm currently locked out of my JP account and I'm fighting with JP support to try and get my account back. So please give me my account back. So for this showcase, I've graciously been provided with super attack animations from Rigoni, and I'm only able to show you 3 out of the 4 super attacks because Rigoni hasn't put any investment into FUKA. Shame on you, Rigoni. But thanks nonetheless for sorting me out to make this video a wee bit more in line with what I like to show people. So before we jump in, if you haven't already, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and all that good stuff that I always ask you to do. Also comment down below after we've talked about this unit. Let me know if you plan to summon or if you are saving for the things that are on the horizon. But enough about that. Who's the new unit? I think you all know by now. On the 30th, we're going to get XENO FUKA being added to Global Disgaearpg. Now, I know a lot of people have been waiting on this character. I know some people are excited for this character, but let's dive in. Let's take a look at her kit and let's see what she's all about and really allow you to make a decision, is she worth summoning for? So first of all, I always like to look at the little bit of information they say about the character, and it says FUKA XENO, that's how she's listed on the wiki. A girl that bears an extremely striking resemblance in name to FUKA. Why is her haircut so short? That's a story for another time. So I actually like this design of FUKA. I don't know why. I mean, she doesn't look vastly different to any other FUKA character apart from the colour palette, but I am a big fan. I do like the look of her, and I think she does look pretty badass, which is quite apt considering she is a badass character. Now, she is a sword user, and she is a character that works well alongside other sword users. However, it's not a necessity that she runs with sword users, so just bear that in mind, guys. It's not like, oh, I don't run a sword team because no use to me. That's not really the case. With a lot of characters in Disgaearpg, you don't have to run mono teams, okay? Now, one of the things that's a little bit more important now than it was previously, when it comes to the chess system, she is a pawn, okay? She is a pawn in the chess system, so you look at the other characters you've got, you see how much you've buffed it, and that'll give you an idea of how much additional buffs she's going to get from your chess system, okay? Now, obviously we have touched on already, she is a sword user, but the thing that I always talk about first in these videos is the character's abilities, okay? So let's start off by looking at XENO FUKA's abilities, and her basic ability, her NE0 as you would call it, is Hell's Training Camp. Basic parameters of character, sword weapon equipped characters is plus 15%, okay? So if you do happen to put her on a team with sword equipping characters, she is going to give them all plus 15% to all of their stats. Now, it usually says here except speed, but for some reason on this description it doesn't say except speed. However, I'm going to go with the assumption that it doesn't include speed, okay guys? Again, it might, but when I play with the character on JP, I can't say that I've specifically noticed my characters being any faster, so I would just say take that with a bit of caution and assume that it doesn't include speed, okay? Now, her NE0 is literally the only skill that basically puts her, you might want to run her on a sword team, okay? Everything else that she's got, you can put her anywhere, okay? So her NE1, Revenge Swing. Damage that you do with a single attack is plus 60%. This is a good one. The reason this is a good one is because she does have an S rank single target damage skill, okay? So she's going to be buffing that skill by 60% if you get her to any one, which puts her in the realms of a boss killer style character, okay? So she's definitely going to do a good bit of damage. Her NE5 is called First String Batter. SP consumed when you are equipped with a sword weapon down. Sorry, I'll reread that. I don't know what happened to my brain there. SP consumed when you're equipped with a sword weapon down by 15%. Basically, if you've got her to NE5 and she's running a sword, all SP costs are going to be reduced by 15%, meaning that her skills are going to cost a decent amount less. And if you do happen to run her with a battery unit, it's going to mean that she can pop her skills off very early on and do maximum damage very quickly right out the gate, okay? Finally, her NE7 is called Play Ball Massacre. At the beginning of turn, your attack and defense is plus 7% for 7 turns. Now, again, because it's JP and I don't really pay as much attention when I'm playing, I've never really checked, but because it says at start of turn, okay, that to me suggests that she would get that at the start of each turn and it would stack, okay? Because it's not like it says at the beginning of battle. That would suggest it's a one-time buff. So if it does stack, it's going to be quite good, but even if it doesn't stack, plus 7% with all the other buffs that we've seen there, you can see that FUKA is going to be quite a good damage dealer. So we've looked at her abilities, and overall I think she's a very, very solid unit. She works on a sword team, she works off of a sword team, she's just generally a very good unit. You could be buffing her with Mega Braveheart, and she's going to be putting out a lot of damage and doing really good work when it comes to like raids and stuff like that. I'm a fan of the character of FUKA, so this is one that I'm quite excited about. But before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and look at her skills and we will see what she is bringing to the table in that regard. So, her first skill is Batting 1000. It's a G going up to F. AoE attack starts off at 25 SP, reducing to 18. Again, if you've got her at NE5, that's going to be lower. And it is an AoE attack, like I said. There's nothing more to this attack. It's pure damage, there's no buffs, there's no debuffs. Well, let's move on and we'll talk about the next one. The next one is called End of Dreams. Now in the footage, this is the way that Ragoni sent it to me. This one will be the one that you see third, okay? It's called End of Dreams and it is a boost to herself, okay? Prince Charming is just a fairy tale. Attack plus 30%, which can go to 55%. So again, very decent there, guys. And behaviour gauge plus 200%. Now, I think behaviour gauge is action gauge. So obviously what that means is she's given herself a boost to speed. Okay, very decent indeed. Our next one is called Extreme Home Run XENO, which starts off at C and it goes to B. It's a single target damage and it's also a self-buffing skill. What do you do if you miss the ball? She's going to do huge damage and she's also going to buff her own speed by 15%. So you can see that there's a few similarities with Kildea here, okay? I mean, she's not quite on Kildea's level, but she's kind of up towards Kildea's level. And if you get her at NE3, she's going to have a skill called Saviour Slugger, which is an S rank rising to S+. It's a single buff and it's also single target damage. This is what a true home run is. Attack plus 30%, speed plus 5%. So you can see there that with those speed buffs and stuff like that, that's why I'm kind of liking her to Kildea, as well as the buffs when you're taking on single enemies and stuff like that. Okay, so moving on. We've seen her skills. I think those are pretty good. I'm pretty happy that I'm still going to be summoning for this character. But let's look at her magic spells. Now, her magic spells aren't crazy, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them. Her magic spells are Star, Speed Up, Mega Star, Mega Speed Up, Giga Star, and Omega Star. Again, I'm not 100% sure if you're going to build this character to be a spellcaster. I think most people these days, if they don't have Braveheart, Mega Braveheart, Enfeeble, Mega Enfeeble, or Mega Magic Boost, or something along those lines. They're usually not building attack-based characters to have spells, so most of your weapon mastery is going to go into, most of your mana consumption weapon mastery, is going to go into sword to really push those numbers and get XENO FUKA up to really high numbers. Now, we have got a lot of sword characters on the horizon for Disgaearpg. We've got Meliodas, we've got Evil Mal, we've got Underlord Laharo. There's lots of characters who really benefit from being on a sword team. Again, FUKA is not required to be on a sword team. However, if you do decide to go down that route, there's lots of characters she's going to work well alongside. So she's definitely a character that I think is worth being excited about. There is a lot of stuff coming in October. So, I mean, again, I think you should really judge yourself if this is something that you want to summon for. But we do have the most powerful PRINNY now available in the game, which is going to be XENO FUKA. So if you want to hook yourself up and get that character in your box, the best time to do it is probably at the end of this month. So get summoning, guys. However, she does reappear on a lot of banners in the future. So if you don't get her this time, it's probably not the end of the world. You may pick her up further down the line. I'm excited for the character. If you're excited for the character, let me know in the comments down below. If you're skipping this character for something else, also let me know in the comments down below. As always, guys, I've been Hayzink. Thanks for joining me on this video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'll catch you on the next Disgaearpg video, dudes. See ya.